This is why you need to learn every single day. There's a saying that says you must learn before you earn. So you can see behind me, there's like a little library around here. Now, one of the things I always say to people is when you want to become better, you want to become richer, you want to become more effective, you want to have more influence, it all comes down to you having the edge by learning something else. So for me, I dedicate every day of my life to be able to learn new strategies, new things, and to be around smart people. So if you want to be more effective, like easiest thing to do is just read some books. Right now, this is easier said than done. I'm dyslexic, which means I don't like reading books, but I love listening to books. So if you don't like to listen to audiobooks or you don't like to read, then at least be around people who can teach it to you. One strategy you can use is people that summarize stuff. For example, AI now, you can say, summarize this person's book for me, giving them 10 most powerful lessons. When you're able to see some of these things that make a huge impact to people's lives, it's really about making an impact and just seeing what it's all about. I want you all to really understand that everything that you do is a lesson. You know, they say that we shouldn't really regret anything in our life. Why? Because the good days give us happiness. The bad days, they give us some experience. The worst days give us some powerful lessons. And the best days that we ever have gives us incredible memories. That's why when you're learning one process, that's why when people are learning, they just keep learning. It's almost like ready, fire, ready, fire, ready, fire, ready, fire, ready, fire, instead of ready, aim, ready, aim, ready, aim, ready, aim. So when you take action, you're ready, firing, then aim. You're not ready, aim, ready, aim, ready, aim. So a few lessons I want to share with you over the last 20 years of being in business and creating multi-million-pound companies. Number one, hang around the smartest people. Don't be the smartest person in the room. In fact, it's better to be interested than interesting. Interested means that, like, look at all these books around here. We want to learn from other people. You can't, and it's impossible to know everything. So actually, we should be learning from the best people at what they do in the world. So one of the things I do is whatever I want to do, I always put out a message, say, who do you know who's really good at this? Or who do you know that is the best in this? Tag them in this post. Then I'll reach out to them and I'll say, hey, I heard that you're the best in this area. Could you teach me some of these strategies? And I'm happy to pay. Here's the key. I'm happy to pay. I'm happy to invest. It's not a cost. A lot of people think of investing in education, buying a course, buying mentoring. They think of it as a cost. It's actually an investment in yourself, even if you get zero result from what you're investing in. Now, I know this sounds really stupid, but if I learn new things, am I better than where I was yesterday? The answer is yes, of course. Sometimes people, they invest in a course and they expect that thing that they've invested in. Let's say they want to learn about social media, right? They invest in a course and they want 1 million followers tomorrow. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to internalize the knowledge. That knowledge then has to be executed, and the execution of those things that you do give you feedback on what you should and shouldn't be doing. So that's why when you're acquiring new knowledge, when you are reading books, when you're hanging around the smartest people, you kind of shortcut and you leapfrog that process. That's one of the most powerful lessons I've learned over the last 20 years, is that I find the people that are the best at what they do and I pay them to teach me the shortcut to get to where you want to get to. Now, I know what you're thinking, but John, it's okay for you because you can afford to pay these people thousands of dollars to do that. What if I don't have thousands of dollars? Well, here's what you do. Find out who these people are and you work for them for free. You work to learn, you do not work to earn. And that's my biggest tip for those of you in your early 20s, early 30s. If I had to start again, this is what I would do. I would go and find somebody. For example, a lot of you are asking, John, how do I do Web3? How to do blockchain? How to do investing? How to do real estate? Find someone in one of these areas and just learn from them. That's why I always love to put on these live summits for you, because I get to go to all my friends who are the best at what they do. They teach me and I said, look, would you do me a favor and teach this to my community as well, right? So by the way, if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do, and I'll put a link below here for any of you interested in that up and coming summits. It's free for my community. I always want to add value back. The only condition I have is that if you attend, I want you to invite someone with you so we can help pay it forward for other people as well. The second thing about learning things is you learn by doing. Some of you learn by seeing, some of you learn by hearing, but some of you learn by doing. I'm the type of person, I learn by doing, and I love learning new things. Because here's the thing, when you learn new things, you start to discover new nuances. I'll give an example. When I started looking for below market value property, the questions I would ask people, the nuances would be the difference between, hey, have you got any good deals that you can give to me? Or, hey, I've got this deal, can you give me $80,000 to buy this deal? Instead of saying, hey, I've got a property that's got £80,000 or $100,000 worth of equity, would you be interested in this deal? Right? These nuances only come from you doing things. right? When I'm playing badminton, if you hold a racket like this and you hold a racket like this and you put your thumb on the side, you can actually get a much further, more power into the shot. The shuttlecock goes further with less effort. Or if you want to run faster, guess what? You move your arms faster, then you run faster. All these little things make a massive difference. It's that 1% of being good and then being great. And this is what I want you to start understanding and thinking about. The second thing is you actually learn by doing. So you take the thing that you've learned and you implement it and you do it immediately, because what happens is it gives you the feedback of what not to do. I remember the first time I started investing, I started knocking on all these doors, going to estate agents and asking if they can give me some deals below its market value. Most of them told me where to go, right? They say, don't come back here, you're wasting my time. What I realized was you got to ask the right questions and you have to position things in the right way. So instead of saying, give me deals, give me deals, give me deals, I actually went in as what we call a chain angel. So what is a chain angel? These people would be in a chain. So I have to sell my property in order for this one to buy the property, in order for that person to buy the property, this person has to sell. That's what we call a property chain. Now, if one person falls out, the whole chain breaks down. That means no one can sell. So I come in and say, if you ever get anybody who's in a chain and they need to sell their property, but that person drops out last minute, call me, I'll come in and buy the property. The discount that I get is going to be spread between all the people in that chain, so the transaction can still happen. So when I came in as a chain angel, this is one thing that made a massive impact to my property business. That's how I built a multi-million-pound property portfolio, because I was able to negotiate and structure deals in a certain way where other people never even thought to do that. They just went in with me, when actually I went in with how can I help support? What is the value I can bring? One of the biggest lessons I learned in business is this. Again, this is a learning process, right? I said to my friend, I said, God, I've got so many competitors, like what shall we do? Like how can we make it a little bit better? And this is the saying that people will say, you got to be better, cheaper, or different. But actually, you should not be competing with your competition. You should be collaborating with them. That's number one. That's one thing I learned in the last 20 years. And how do you do that? By doing what we call a strategic alliance. You find somebody who has the same audience as you, but is not in direct competition with you. These lessons that I've learned took me many years, these nuances to figure out, because I only really knew by doing this. And by the way, if you have any questions based on what I'm talking about, leave a comment below. I would love to personally come in and answer some of these questions that you've got. But one of the things I want you to realize is this. Whenever we are doing things, whenever we're learning things, there's going to be a lag. You're not going to get things straight away. It's not going to happen immediately. I mean, I wish it did, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. So one of the things we've got to start figuring out is what is the least path of resistance. Now, you've heard people say, John, when you do things, you should always do the thing that is always the hardest first. I disagree with that. I believe you should take the low-hanging fruit, because why? When you take the low-hanging fruit, you start to get results faster, and it's a feedback loop to take more action, and it creates momentum. That's why if we ever think about the 5-minute rule, where in 5 minutes, you got to do that thing. In 5 minutes, if you want to get into shape, just train for 5 minutes. You want to go for a walk for 5 minutes. You want to learn a language, learn it for 5 minutes. This 5-minute rule is a compound effect of what happens. So if you do one thing, you do another thing, you keep doing it, it all adds up. I don't know where I saw this, but I kind of adapted it to really just taking these 5 minutes every single day of commitment. Like you want to do social media, film a video for 5 minutes every day. You want to make a post on Instagram, create a post for 5 minutes every day. You want to become a writer, write your book 5 minutes a day. I know it sounds easier said than done, but these little things will make a massive impact. I promise you. Things don't just happen overnight like this. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes consistency, and that's why it's so hard. That's why I want to create these videos for you, because I know how hard it's going to be for all of you. And trying to do it yourself is going to be really, really hard, right? Unless you're one of these people who's like 1,000% committed and no one else can talk you how to do anything, you just do the things you want to do. For most people, unfortunately, that's not the case. And by the way, at the end of this video, I'll link a video, and that'll really help you gather that momentum and get started, especially for those of you who want to start a business. One last thing, when I'm learning things, I don't only want to learn the knowledge, but I also want to get people to help me implement that knowledge as well. So sometimes when I learn something, I understand it, but it's not until somebody else explains to me what I've just learned do I internalize it. So we can have surface level knowledge, and then we can have inner deep knowledge in the things that we do. Now, here's the best thing you can do when we are looking to achieve achieve results faster is to get an accountability buddy. What is an accountability buddy? An accountability buddy is someone that you are going to tell that person what you're going to do, and they're going to check up on you to see if you've done it. And also you're going to tell them all your weaknesses. These are all the reasons why I would not do this thing, and they're going to hold you accountable to it. You will not believe the amount of results that you get just from doing that one thing. My entire team are my accountability buddies. If I say I'm going to do something and I don't do it, my team say, hey, you said you want to do it. I was like, yep, you're right. I hold my hands up. I said I was going to do it. I didn't do it. I'm going to do it now. So it's okay to sometimes not do the thing you say that you do, as long as you make up for it, as long as you actually do it in the end. And that's why I think it's really, really important for those of you that watch my videos every day. If you know someone who's struggling and they want to learn, they want to earn, forward this video to them, send it to them on WhatsApp, forward it to them, post it, reshare it on social media to your Instagram, because I really want them to learn this stuff. Anyway, make sure that if you want to create a lot of action, make sure you check out this video here as well.